My 24F friend's 28M girlfriend, 29F, got publicly humiliated and fired from her job. She blames me, and he is backing her. My friend, let's call him Ted, and his girlfriend have been in a long distance for many years. The girl, let's call her Ellen, quit her job 8 months ago and came to live with him. During this entire time, Ted and I have been reaching out to everyone we know to help her get a job. A few months ago, I noticed that the name of her last company was incorrect. When I pointed it out to her, she said that was on purpose as her company didn't have much of a reputation, so she had basically lied she used to work at a much more respectable firm and put down her sister's name in references, who worked there. I told her she shouldn't have done that, and most certainly not asked me to refer her to people with a blatant lie on her resume. She defended herself saying it wasn't a complete lie, and she didn't make up work experience. I told her that's her call, but I wouldn't be able to help her anymore. After that, Ted and I were still on good terms, but neither brought up the job hunt. Some time ago, she finally converted one interview and got an offer. She told me as well, thanking me for all my help. I was genuinely happy for her. She started the job immediately. A week into it, she was in an orientation session with all her peers, and her manager publicly humiliated her for lying and asked her to immediately leave. Ellen claims that while she was packing her drawer, she overheard him saying to another colleague that someone had tipped him off. She says that since only Ted and I knew about this, it has to be me. Ted says he doesn't believe I did anything but can't not support her as she's an unemployed, betrayed mess right now. TLDR, friend's girlfriend lied on her resume, got fired, blamed me. Friend says he has to sever ties with me. Should I try to prove my innocence by reaching out to employer, or let it go? Relevant comments. Ethelfleda Honey. People's actions prove who they are. Start distancing yourself from these liars who shift blame so they don't have to deal with their own issues. OOP. And such a needless lie. You're right. Shifting blame is exactly what she's doing. Playing the victim when it was her own mistake. I just hate that this has caused a rift with Ted. Embarrassing human. Don't say anything to the employer. She's using you as a scapegoat because she doesn't want to own up to her mistake. Let them be mad. OOP. So true. There are stringent background checks done by employers. They don't wait around for tip-offs from friends of employee. But these checks are usually completed before making the offer, so I'm really not sure what happened there. Dragonfruit fly often before making the offer, but not always. I've seen a number of instances, including where I work, in which reference checks were done after an offer was made. HR probably assumes people who are applying for professional positions won't lie, as it's so easy to get caught. As we know, it does happen frequently. People do lie, often out of desperation. OOP. Yeah, out of desperation is right. But it's impossible to recover from if and when you get caught. In her case, it was so unnecessary. Ramona Devine. Honestly, so many companies won't contact the direct reference for a company and will often go straight to the HR department. Or perhaps someone at this new company knew someone who worked at the company she lied about. She's short-sighted and is just trying to scapegoat you. Take a step back and ignore her. Perhaps if you have any other mutual friends, then do damage control before she attempts to turn any of them against you. OOP. I wish someone had said this sooner. She's already gone and cried to our common friends as she now lives with them, Ted's two flatmates. My dignified silence hasn't made much of a case in my favor. I just need autonomy. I'm laughing at Ellen's belief that it had to be you who talked, instead of owning up to the fact that a blatant lie is pretty easy to verify, especially nowadays with the internet. She clearly thinks she's a criminal mastermind. Also, her excuse for why she did it, my employer isn't well known enough, is bullshit. I bet you $10 she was a horrible employee and trying to cover her tracks because she knew she'd never get a character reference. OOP. Exactly. Her argument is that only I knew about it. Think again, because I'm pretty sure the company you haven't worked for knows you haven't worked for them. Happy endings for all. Wait, did she tell them the real story about how she tricked you and lied on her resume? I'm assuming so, because she had to have some reason to say you and Ted were the only ones that knew and your so-called friends are fine with that. Don't let any of them work with you. Plus, as I said, she tricked you because you said if she left the lie on, she couldn't use your letter of reference. Try to straighten it out, but that whole group might not be worth much trouble, OP. Most people